So I'm assuming since you clicked on this video that you've heard of Sonic.exe, the terrible creepypasta made by a furry who should, quite frankly, be put behind bars at this point, which was then turned into a fan game which is also somewhat aged poorly. However, since that creepypasta came out in 2011, I think, a huge Sonic.exe community has formed, and with it, some amazing fan games have been made. On the same coin, however, are some, let's just say, not the best ones, which we will be playing today. So, yeah, hope you enjoy. The first game we will be playing today is called Sonic.exe Spirits Monster, which was a game released by Classic Sonic 165 on September 16th of 2023. When you download the game and open the folder containing the game, you will see the launcher, which will open the game in a mysterious text file right above it. Once you do decide to open the text file, it will read Sonic.exe Spirits Monster, along with a bunch of words I have absolutely no idea how to spell. This is also the name of the text file if you're curious. Yeah, this does completely nothing, it serves no purpose, and I don't know what it says translated, so yeah, let's get to the actual game now. When you load into the game, you are presented with the option to play as Sonic, which you must select as there are no other playable characters. From there, you are thrown into a world with some not bad platforming. After a long while of looking at weird glitches, trying to figure out how to collect these stupid emeralds, and moving towards the end of the stage, you encounter a boss fight with Egg Robo, which is stupidly easy as he does not attack you in any way. Once you finish that, the game ends. Yeah, this was entirely clickbait, although I did somewhat enjoy the platforming and music, even if that music is just Knuckles Chaotix remixes. If this was not clickbait, I would have given it a 6 out of 10, but because of the clickbait, I'm dropping it down to a 5 out of 10. The next game is called Sonic.exe Emerald Demon the Game, which was released by Sir Seba on January 7th of 2022. Opening up the application, as it was the only thing downloaded this time, you will see Sonic in Emerald Hill Zone, wondering where Eggman is. With his determination, you decide to go and find him. After running through a level which is not bad, but also not that good, you finally meet Eggman, and encounter possibly the best boss fight I have ever seen in a video game. Eggman goes to corners, shoots lasers, and then you have to attack him. After completing it on my first try, I then move to the right, and after doing that boss fight again and avoiding the laser, there is a little ending section, which is kind of reminiscent of the Sonic CD boss fights. Then, the act is complete. Once that ends, a cutscene appears showing Sonic encountering a spooky red emerald, which then decides to fly away. Sonic chases after it, and then Act 2 of Green Hill starts, starting with Sonic talking and some automatic springs to bounce you in the air. After a few seconds of more auto-running and Sonic slowing down, Act 2 finally begins, only for this to happen. So, Act 3 of Emerald Hill starts. It's a basic run to the right level with dead bodies and also some groin pain for some reason, but once you get done with that, you can just jump down here and then accidentally find some secret dead bodies in the wall, and then get out, and then finally land on the floor. After running some more and avoiding whatever this is, which I can only believe to be a glitch, you can then enter this hole in the wall and then have a spotlight put on you for some reason. And then you can see this happen. With Sonic no longer in control of his body, you are now forced to play as Tails, who starts us off with this absolutely horrendously translated line. Then, you can run through Emerald Hill again, except this time with loop-de-loops and a hole in the floor. I also like how this line appears seconds before Tails actually hits the floor, meaning he just knew beforehand and decided to only do something about it now. But yeah, it's just the spooky Emerald Hill walk to the right simulator from the original Sonic.exe, although there are some obstacles, none of which are hard in the slightest. Then, you meet Sonic, and this happens. I think it's obvious to anyone who's played like the really good Sonic.exe games by now, or just watched them, that this whole game is just a poor ripoff of the other popular ones. Although it definitely has some funny moments, like the horribly translated lines and the really bad facial animations. Anyways, back to the cutscene, which jumps us 10 minutes in time to Tails in the tornado, only for Sonic to shoot it down, forcing Tails to fall to the ground as the tornado explodes. Jesus Christ. Once the 30-second long falling cutscene is over, yes, it is 30 seconds long for some reason, Sonic wants to play a game with Tails, which involves him running through Angel Island Zone. Okay, pretty tame game so far. Until Angel Island Zone is set on fire, like the original game, and then this horribly translated cutscene happens. Then you're supposed to get a special ring, but I'm gonna be completely honest, I just could not get to this ring and gave up. For some reason, the demo end screen is accompanied with the special remake of the Knuckles Chaotix title screen music that was used in Sonic Mania? Okay, then. Overall, I have to give this demo a 7 out of 10. You can tell some effort was put into this, but the ideas are definitely not even close to original. The platforming was definitely nowhere near stellar, and the text boxes were, interesting. All in all, not that bad. Now, this is only a demo, but considering a full version has not come out and it's almost been 2 years, I really doubt we will be seeing any future releases from this project. The final game in this video is called Sonic.exe The Master of Blood, which was released by the Tails.exe on December 1st, 2023, which is rather recent. It currently has some less than flattering reviews, so I definitely was not expecting quality when I opened this game. Opening up the application, as that was once again the only thing downloaded, it sends us to a warning screen, which is in itself not exactly the most grammatically correct warning screen. From there, the typical loading screens appear, with the developers all apparently being weird versions of Tails and Sonic, which is something to admire, I guess. Then, this weird screen appears, and then the game starts with Sonic picking up a mysterious ring. With some somehow even worse dialogue boxes than the last game, Sonic.exe just apparently appears and takes over his body. I don't even think he picked up the ring. I think he just came out of it, which is definitely a very scary twist on the original. Then some really terrible static appears, and then the character selection menu appears, and after messing with the music, Tails' run of the game starts. In, of course, Green Hill Zone. Then, Tails, after going through it, has to run all the way back to the start, where this happens. Moving forward, you encounter some absolutely horrendous map design before walking to the right. Then you're told to go back. Once you go back, this happens. I'm just gonna be completely honest with you, I died here, because this thing is not easy. I honestly think it's just completely impossible, considering there is no way to know when these obstacles appear and when they do certain things. Like, those original spike ones, like, they just appear completely out of nowhere, and you're supposed to jump over them, and also you're supposed to know where they are. And then you have to get to this section where it's like you have to fly over it, but if you go too high, you'll hit a ceiling, and then you're forced to go down, which takes time. Like, it's just completely impossible. And yeah, that's the end of Tails' run. If you die here, it's just over. Anyways, on with Knuckles, who, of course, starts his run in this weird version of Scrap Brain Zone, like always. But guess what? I got even less far with Knuckles due to this weird jump I accidentally died on because I guess I only had 1 life. Anyways, that's where the game ends because Shadow is just completely unlockable, and I'm not doing the full Knuckles run. Like, this game is just bad. It's not good. Like, it has terrible platforming, weird glitches, it has some really terrible pacing, weird text boxes, weird animations, and somewhat unoriginal ideas. But, I mean, honestly, I have to give this game the highest, like, rating, 6.5 out of 10, because really, this was the only game that was a game. The last one was just a rip-off of other ideas, and the one before that wasn't even a Sonic.exe game. It was just called a Sonic.exe game. So, yeah. This one is pretty much the best one I played this entire game, the entire video. And with that, the video is over. I hope you enjoyed, liked, and subscribed E-Died. And if the video gets some recommendations for a sequel, I definitely want to do another one of these. So, you know, please recommend in the comments below. Until then, I'll see you on my live streams, and goodbye.